everybody? Welcome to another episode of When Does the Fuckery End? We're going to start this off by introducing the guest here first instead of going with the screwball shots because he's going to do one with us. But I have Jimmy Ryan here with me, and he's one of my friends from high school, but he's also the guy that I was supposed to go into the Marine Corps with, and we'll get into that a little bit later. But we'll tell the story, and so we're going to go ahead and take these shots right now. Screwball.
Score.
There we go.
One day Screwball will recognize that we are getting people to buy their stuff.
That's so good and smooth.
Yeah, it's great.
Wow, it's
a very delicious treat, isn't it?
That's your opinion on
yes,
Screwball?
that is fantastic. I'm not big on whiskey anymore, but woo, man, that's good stuff.
That is good stuff.
That is good stuff.
All right, so I'm going to start off with running down a couple of the charities. Joshua Chamberlain Society just had their gala this weekend, which Kyle and I attended.
Fantastic.
Fantastically amazing. Lovely to see all the people that come out and donate money to help wounded veterans and things like that. Then you have Tunnels to Towers builds homes for wounded veterans. Semper Fi Fund helps financially aid wounded veterans and their families and things of such. I'm going to run down these pretty quick because we've gone through them pretty much every episode. I got Warfighters Engaged, who helps build rigs for wounded veterans to play video games again. I'm pretty sure I'm missing one here. Gary Sinise Foundation, which also builds homes for veterans. Man, I think I hit them all. Okay. Joshua Chamberlain Society, we did that one.
But yeah, mention it again. I mean, that was
Champs
awesome.
Assistance Dogs, who just gave me a dog.
Oh, yeah.
I could go with the Veterans Curation Program, which is downtown, which helps veterans get job skills to reintegrate back into life. So there's quite a few of them. Do your research, figure them out. If you're looking to donate, those are some of the ones I highly recommend. They always are at 90% above, giving back to the veterans. So let's start off with Jimmy. So Jimmy, what are you doing in life now, man?
Well,
tell us about your service. How about that?
Well, where do you want me to start?
I was thinking how you
that's
guys
a broad
met.
question.
Okay. So Kyle, let's just start with how we met.
Yeah.
So how did we meet, Jimmy?
I really don't even remember exactly how we met, but
I don't know how we met, but I know we spent a lot of the time in the bar together.
And Todd tells me we have a bunch of stories together, but man, the amount of partying and everything that we've done, it's almost like one big mash story together of just having the friendship with Todd more than half the time I can pin down what we did just because of the amount of craziness and, there's alcohol and drugs involved at the time.
So did you guys like meet in high school or elementary?
We both went to the same high school.
Okay.
I think we really became friends a little bit more after high school.
After high school.
Did you guys hate each other in high school?
No, we didn't hate each other. We just hung out with different crowds, kind of.
Okay.
Our crowds had a similar person, and somehow we ended up hanging out together.
We kind of just careened into our lifestyles were kind of the same, of just kind of having dead-end jobs and drinking every night at the same bar, and
that's kind of what led us to the Marine Corps. I think I'm gonna go ahead.
Sticking together when we didn't have it. We would put our money together and know that we were both gonna get drunk.
Right.
Not that he had $50 and I had $40. It was, hey, we got $90 to get drunk.
Well, before I jump into the story,
and that's good to have a friend like that. That you're drinking money, my drinking money.
Well, before I jump into the story about how we went to the Marine Corps together, he's talking about how we sat at the same bar all the time, and that's kind of where this story goes. But one time they were doing a cover charge to get into the bar that me and him sat at every fucking night. We were like, fuck you, we're not paying that shit. So we went around back, jumped over the fence, and came in the back door. And then the guy was looking at us as we were sitting at the bar. We were like, yeah, we're not fucking paying. But one day,
we were also the same way. We get paid on Friday and broke by Monday.
Yeah, that's pretty much how it was. We spent $700 at the bar in one night.
It was no holds barred.
All we did was throw change at the bottles behind it, and if we hit the certain one, we got a free Jaeger shot, I think, or something like that.
And that's what you did all day long?
I think when they shut that bar, Twisters, down, the lady told us she found or when they would clean behind it, they found like $80 worth of change back there from us throwing fucking pennies at these bottles all day long.
But getting on to the story, though, I always wanted to be a Marine, too. Since I was little, I was always in the military and all that stuff. But seeing the Marines and I don't even remember what movie it might have been. It's probably an Arnold Schwarzenegger movie or some type of maybe Under Siege or something, and then you just see the Marine in the dress blues, and you ask your dad or whoever, who the hell's that? And it was that from now on. I wanted to be that. And me and Todd, we fucked around for a while, but we realized that we weren't going nowhere. And I told him the other day, our parents congratulated us for joining the Marines in the time of war when there was 2 different war fronts, and they were happy for us.
They're doing something with their lives.
So I mean, grenades were just an option of us are having success. We're like, well, that's their only option. And
Well, we were sitting at the bar, the same bar we sit at every freaking day, and I looked right at Jimmy because, like he said, we were working dead-end jobs. I was laid off. He was a mechanic. I said, what the fuck are we going to do with our lives, Jimmy? Let's go join the Marine Corps. He said, I'm in. It was a drunken night. I didn't think anything of it. The next day, he's already signed up. Well, I got to go sign up now. We were going to do the buddy thing. I ended up getting a DUI, so he's got to leave before me because he already signed up. He's like, well, I ain't waiting for you, man. I'm already signed up and ready to go. I sold my car.
But we signed up for the infantry together. Now, I was just supposed to go in infantry by myself. And they were already telling both of us, hey, don't go. His ASVAB, Todd's ASVAB score was like 97.
I know.
So they were like, you're fucking stupider than a 97 ASVAB score for going into the infantry. Because they wanted him for everything else. But, and my ASVAB score was good too, especially in mechanics and all that stuff. So I went back and Damji, like you just said, he ran into, he was like, man, are you sure you don't want to do something else? And I was like, well, I would like to be something fucking badass. And I don't mind trying hard for it. He's like, well, you want to be a helicopter machine gunner? I go, well, now you're talking.
Yeah, that would have been fun being a helicopter
He
machine gunner.
goes, well, now you're going to have to sign off for another year. And you have 5 schools that you had to go to that are DOR. And if you drop off, then you're going to
explain what DOR is.
DOR is drop on request. That means if you can't hack it, you're going to the needs of the Marine Corps.
Right.
So your MOS is now whatever the hell they want. Yeah. But the risk is worth with the reward, and I did have an illustrious career, and I really did love my job.
So what did you go in as a door gunner?
Yes, I went in. I went in that. It's a 6170. 6122, which was your basic aircraft mechanic. You have to go to that school, and then you have to go to flight school. But before that, you have to go to water survival school. You got to go to SEER school. You got to go to combat training. So there's a lot of courses, and flight school alone 6 to 8 months. And that's flying every day, and that's being tested. And any test, as soon as you fail, they're right there. You're ready to do OR. They're gonna say, hey, are you ready? You flunked the test. There's not passing test. Oh, you get 6 tries. No, you either pass or fail, and that's it.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That seems pretty intense for being a door gunner.
It is.
But as he was saying, like, they used to look at me.
We're not just a door gunner. We are the in-flight mechanic. You know exactly what's going on with that plane, and you look at it every day.
Well, let's circle back to Damji, who was both of our recruiters. And the thing I loved about the guy was when I walked in there, he said, do you want these fucking boots or not? That was it. And I said, I want those fucking boots. And man, this guy was a hard charging. He was a door gunner as well, I think.
Well, really, it wasn't even about us wanting it. It was about us getting around all of our problems.
Right. I mean, it was like getting the fuck out of Jefferson County. It was like...
Well, we just had wrapped ourselves up with so much...
drama and bullshit that we couldn't get out of.
Shit with the cops, man, like...
Oh, I bet they loved you guys.
Oh, I used to get pulled over all the time for welfare checks because they knew my car.
Really?
They'd be like, Mr. Nicely, have you been drinking today? Just doing a welfare check. And I had to, buy a new car because they harassed me so much before I left. It was bad. Like, I knew if I didn't go into the Marine Corps, which I wanted to do in the first place, like my mom said in the one episode, I was going to go half year of my 1 year of high school, but 9/11 happened and my mom wasn't signing because I was only 17. There was a lot of different variables, but I ended up going to do the thing I wanted to do in the first place because I had the economy was crashing. I was a carpenter. Shit was going downhill. I was getting myself in trouble just drinking, fighting, doing stupid shit. And I thought, if I don't do what I want to do, I'm going to end up in jail or prison. and or dead or in prison.
I told my mom the exact same thing when I signed up. I said, if I don't make it, I'm going to be dead or in jail.
So, I mean, this seems like a more viable option.
Yeah.
I'm either going to come home or be dead either way.
And
so.
and like Todd said, I didn't have much options either. I had got a Mustang, 99 GT Mustang. I was driving that thing around, ended up driving it off a cliff.
Holy
Helicopter lifted, ICU, internal bleeding, almost died, and then I racked up $120,000 worth of medical bills. I didn't have that, so I had to file for bankruptcy, and
How old were you guys at this time?
and well, I had 12 felony accounts with that because I was running for the cops.
Gotcha.
So my grandpa, who had lunch with the sheriff every day at that time, which these guys are just 20 probably years ago, he talked to the judge, and the judge gave me an option. He said, "You go in the Marine Corps, or you're going to
you
jail."
were actually, I mean, I've only heard stories about that.
Well, I mean, it's really up to the judge.
It wasn't an option. He was already on his way in.
Yeah, I know, but
Well, I really didn't have any other charges to say, hey, man, this guy's got all these other things
Right, it
going
was just
on.
this.
And this guy's, he's already at the recruiter,
Right.
signed up, ready to go.
And-
All
and
I
see-
need you is to say, hey, man,
Hey, let's
instead of
make it
putting this
happen.
guy in jail, would you like to try him in the Marine Corps?
And that's
Well,
what happened with me.
My mom told me not too long ago that judge passed away, and he actually asked on my deathbed
How you were doing?
how I was doing, and that was very incredible that he remembered just me out of everybody else.
That's kind of what happened with me was we were going to go anyway. I got a DUI. Then I had to get a lawyer to go up there and say, look, we've already got him in. We just need you to say, hey. So I had to serve 30 days on a 5-year sentence.
okay.
And so I had a 5-year bench probation after I'd signed up. So if I were to fuck up in the Marine Corps, not only would I go to the brig in the Marine Corps,
Shit, I didn't
I'd
know
be
that.
coming out and going to jail fucking in regular jail. So it's like, fuck, man, you can't fuck
And when
up
you
now.
go to the brig in the Marine Corps, your time stops.
Yeah.
Really?
Yes. If you go in for 20 years and you come out and they decide they still want you to do your service, they can fucking say, hey, you still got 3 years to go.
Damn.
So,
That's how hardcore that shit
so
is.
basically it was like, don't fuck up, Todd. I don't know how I got away with some of the shit I did. Being in the Marine Corps, I was in bar fights and still being the same Todd, but I don't know how I got away with it. I think it was my Staff Sergeant Gunny Payton that I love to death, love the guy. He was actually our lieutenant.
I honestly just think it was a saving of the times of the war, man. We would have never even fucking been a joke or a
No.
thing on their blood or like today.
Probably not.
No way. We
Like
were
right
bad
now, you
kids.
can't even get in the Marine Corps with a speeding ticket.
Oh yeah, there's no.
And I had like 12 different waivers.
I had a DWI.
Really?
I had a DWI before I was 21.
I had 2 before I was 21.
Wow. Great influences, guys.
Well, it's not that we're great influences.
It's
it was
not
just,
that we're bad guys either.
Listen,
We were just
you have
out
to take the
being
story
stupid.
for what it is. We took our life, knew we were headed nowhere, and changed it.
That's true.
A lot of people don't realize that. We knew we were headed for nowhere.
We knew that we didn't have anything to do. We were just causing shit because we didn't have anything to.
and
really
we changed our lives and did something good with it. So that's the story that you need to take
But
from
you
it.
only
Not
feel
that we
like
were
that when you're
shitheads.
young, though.
Yeah, we were all shitheads.
You know,
when
you
we
only
were
feel
younger.
like that when you're young, really.
I was
though,
21, 22 years
Yeah.
old. I thought I
You're ready to
had the
jump
world by the
into it.
balls.
Right. You're not
And
ready to
instead,
jump
I was
into
like,
something like that.
fuck,
No.
my life's over before I know it.
No. It's crazy.
But let's get into Would You Rather and take
Okay.
another shot
Yeah.
after that little
Okay.
segment.
Yeah.
Would you rather?
Why don't you just give me that bottle of that peanut butter?
Because you can't have that bottle. Okay, Jimmy.
That stuff's fantastic.
Would you rather get waterboarded at Guantanamo Bay or get robbed at gunpoint 5% of the time when you leave your house after dark? Every time you have a 5% chance
For the rest of my life?
for the rest of your life. Or get waterboarded.
Oh, I've been waterboarded, so waterboarding.
I'll take the
I've been to SEER
5%.
school.
I'll take the 5% because I'll shoot a motherfucker.
Oof. I don't know.
Waterboarding sucks.
I was saying,
but I'm not getting robbed every fucking day
No,
of my
a
life.
chance
I'll
of
take that.
getting robbed.
a chance. But I have terrible luck, so
I have terrible anxiety, so I would not like knowing that I have a
Fuck that! I've already been shot at. I've already said if anyone tries to carjack my car,
waterboarding.
if anyone ever tries to carjack my car,
To what?
I would never get out.
What's the end of the waterboard?
And all
Do I
it
shit
says-
my pants or what?
No, it just says waterboard.
It
Man.
just says it's waterboarded.
I can't get specific.
It's fucking really bad. But
What do you people think? Why don't you hit me up on my Instagram once again? When does the fuckery end?
I could not deal with 5% of anxiety on top of my 100% anxiety.
I'll take the 5% because I already said I have always said.
Well, what happens when I get robbed? Does he rob me? Does he have a gun? Am I gonna have to shoot
It said
him
at
and go to prison?
gunpoint. It did say at gunpoint.
Oh, at gun? Yeah, I'm good.
No, fuck that. I've already
Up
dealt
my
with
nose.
I've already dealt with gunpoint. I'll do it again.
Come on, man.
I'm gonna have to agree with him. I mean,
You can agree with it. This
Get
is
it out of
something
the
you
way.
read. I would
Get
rather
it
do
out of the
something
way.
you two
Yeah.
wouldn't because you guys are fucking vaginas.
well, no, it's not that. It's the fact that I'd rather just have it done and over with than have to worry about it for the rest of my life.
Did it say the rest of your life?
It said 5% of the time.
5% of the time, every time you leave the house.
It said 5% of the time after you leave your
That
house.
After I leave, then I would never leave the house.
Point.
I would have people do my bidding. I would
Yeah.
be Mrs.
Well,
Winchester.
that's-
I would start building shit all over my house to where
And
people
Todd,
couldn't get me.
I would do that for you. I would go out and grab your stuff for you.
Yeah,
because
I'd be like, Kyle, I can't leave the house. 5% of the time, I might get robbed.
Is it the same guy that robs you?
No, it's 5% chance gunpoint you're gonna get robbed.
so that's specifics. We can't get into specifics.
Yeah, specifics don't count.
What is your favorite Todd Nicely story since we have you?
Oh, we got some time yet.
Yeah.
Favorite time. This one might be a hard one for him, but what is your favorite time?
Shit, I don't really remember most of them. You
It's
want
your
a funny
story.
one? You want a crazy
I want
one?
you, when you think of Todd, one story.
The last time I think of Todd when I need to tell somebody about Todd, I'll say, well, I went out with them on it was either Christmas Eve or my birthday.
It was your birthday.
My
You were
birthday's
gonna
the
tell
day
this
after
one?
Christmas. My birthday is December 26th, so I went there on Christmas.
It was Christmas, and then
we
it turned
hung
your
out,
birthday
And then he said, get in my
side by side.
side-by-side that's all rigged up. Let's go into the woods at full speed, drunk off our asses.
That sounds
All
right, Todd.
I said, well, I'm fucking up for a fucking good show. And
Put on your
he's got like
seatbelt.
5 guys that have other things ready to follow us around too. So I said, well, I need my cigarettes and I need my beer. And he goes, that's fine. And fucking we take off. And we were having a good time. And Todd's like, well, they tell me to keep on the trails. He goes, fuck that. And he went just straight off the trail, right down into a valley. And I didn't know that physics worked this way, but he hit something and we stopped instantly and kept going 40 miles an hour. And then after that, the whole thing just malfunctioned and started smoking and overheating. And it just didn't feel like it was even riding right. And it didn't even bother to get back up the hill. And then we had to drag all of our shit up the hill, and him and me. And if someone else had...
My brother.
One of his side by side, and they said
They bungee
his
corded us to the
dumbass
back.
and me on the back, and we had no.
They
and
ratchet
about to do
strapped us as a
5 miles an hour around these curves, and we're like, well, we have no way to hold on, so they ratchet strapped me back to. They ratchet strapped me to this dumbass, more or less, than I fucking to the thing that we were riding on.
Did you have to carry him
No,
up?
so hold on.
I don't even remember.
So
but
hold on.
no, but
We're
I
going
was
down-
yelling at him the whole time.
We're going down this
and
hill.
I was fucking upset because it is an expensive vehicle, you know, and that thing was smoking and riding wrong, and I just felt bad.
So here's what happened.
You know,
He said I veered off on the trail. No, we went down this trail, and my headlights are pointing up the hill.
I
can't see
remember.
it. So there's a stump. There's a stump in the trail. My right end catches this stump. We go from doing 50 miles an hour to a dead fucking stop.
And then
Bam!
50 miles an hour.
Good thing we had our fucking seatbelts on. I'm like, are you okay? He's like, yeah, I'm okay. I'm like, we gotta catch him.
We had
Throw it back and drive.
full
And I drive this thing up the
harness
hill.
on.
Well,
It might have hurt.
my frame is bent. My fucking right A-arm is, both of them are snapped. I'm riding this thing up the hill. I'm like, we're going to get to the top of this hill because I can't leave this thing in the valley. We had to end up leaving it at the top of the hill next to a fucking power fucking...
crippled.
Yeah, just this thing was wrecked.
Mortar hit.
It took me and my brother 2 fucking heavy chains and a pulley to pull my frame back out and the fucking A-frames to the wheel. How bad we hit that thing. Like, if we wouldn't have had our seatbelts on, he would have went flying out of
But
my
he also
windshield.
didn't bother to mention he drove us like an hour and a half out in the fucking woods.
Oh, yeah, he strapped us, on the back
not like
of
a
his,
quick
like
ride back
ratchet.
to the fucking house like we were out in the cornfield.
We were
just
drunk,
messing around.
man. It was fun.
It was like, hey, let's just drive this old logging road until we hit Arkansas or wherever the road goes. Oh, more peanut butter. Yes, I'll have that.
Yes, let's take a shot,
I
Screwball.
hope you guys get sponsored by this because I will come and steal a bottle.
They should make a jelly one. You can mix them together.
I don't know. I'd have to try it.
A jelly whiskey?
Yeah, I'd have to try them.
Or maybe put some wine in it.
I would like
a
to
wine
try
with some
that
whiskey.
as making a malaise with it. And
You know what,
trying
Kyle?
it as like
We're going to
type of-
patent that.
look like
I'm
a-
calling it right now. I'm calling this.
Man, you take that and mix it with
You
a little
put some
barbecue
wine in
sauce
there?
and maybe do like a something with your barbecue and see how that.
No, fuck that. You
Am
put
I
a little bit
fucking
of wine in that
wrong?
shot, give it a grape taste, or some Welchers.
I think both ideas.
Cocaine.
Yeah, I'm with
better. Cocaine. would make it way better.
Well, that answer is right. Everything's better with cocaine.
Everything's 10 times better with
Don't
cocaine.
ever do cocaine, or you just don't do cocaine. It's so
Hey, if
great.
the feds are listening to this podcast, we don't do cocaine. This is a joke.
Cocaine, you shouldn't do cocaine
wink.
because it is that great of a drug.
Why get your legs crossed like a fucking female?
Because my ball sack is underneath it.
So you're squeezing it together?
No, so I'm not crushing it because my balls are so big.
Why don't you just sit with your legs wide open like
Would
this?
you like it? Would you prove that?
Why don't you even cross your legs? I don't know. I don't have legs anymore. I don't know why we cross our legs.
Why are you worried about my legs so much?
Because you looked like a female.
Isn't that the thing nowadays?
I don't know.
I don't have tight rolled jeans. You see these? These are loose fit.
Yeah,
I
you
bought
got
these
the
in the 90s.
you got the generic version of what are those shoes called now?
Oh, I have the
No, not
generic
Converse.
version of everything.
He's generic Jimmy.
You heard it first here.
Yeah, fucking pay that shit.
Dudes.
I'm 38
Dudes, okay.
or 9. I
Docs.
forget, but I don't care what kind of clothes
He
I
doesn't
wear.
even know how old he is. 38 or 39. Jimmy, you're 38.
What's
I feel
what,
39 today, though.
what is your favorite Jimmy store?
Oh, my favorite Jimmy story? This falls in line with the one I thought he was going to tell.
Okay.
So we're at the bar one night, all right? And
Doesn't it always...
hold on.
Jesus.
Some guy starts running his mouth. So me and Jimmy are like, fuck this. We're in my little Chevy S10, okay?
Okay.
And I was like, we're leaving. We got some girls following us, we think, at one point.
Oh, no, we did.
So we're fucking flying down the road, and I come up to the stop sign.
That was that.
These guys get out of this car, and they want to fight. So me and Jimmy,
For what reason?
I don't remember. I think I might have hit on someone's girlfriend. or
No,
something.
I think one of them was mad because we were going home with one of those girls.
Yeah, I think I was hitting on one
That
of one's
or it was
girlfriend.
the classic Todd just walks up
Just
to
me
someone and
talking
just,
some shit, going,
hey man, your
"Fuck you, I don't
face is
give a
so
fuck."
ugly and I'm so hot. And
So anyway, these guys follow us from the bar. I'm like, Jimmy, these guys are following us. I stop at the stop sign. They get out of their car. We jump out of the truck. It's 4 versus 2.
no, it was 2-on-2.
No, it was 4-2. The other two
that's
got back in
right.
the car.
That's
The
right.
other two got back in the car when they see what happened to their
Yeah,
friends.
that's right.
So me and Jimmy jump out of the car.
He stopped right at the stop sign.
These guys
Right
come
there,
flying up. Jimmy's
They're
got
open
one
the
dude's head in the door. Bam, bam, just wailing on this thing. I got some other dude on the side of the car just smashing his face against the side mirror
And
of
they-
my truck because they came up on us.
and then he takes off
And
running.
then and 2 of them take off running back for the car.
And then the other guy, I remember the other guy took off running down like the street.
Yeah, he just took off running back the other way.
I tripped him and just started.
So these
making
girls
faces
are
at him
supposed to
and
be
just-
meeting us. Well,
It
we're
went
like,
really wrong for these guys.
Yeah.
I'll just.
so these girls are
really wrong.
supposed to be meeting us. Well, me and Jimmy take off because we hear cop sirens all of a sudden.
We just beat the living shit out of these. Like they're
Yeah,
laying
it-
there.
it was-
we
it
need
wasn't
to get
funny.
the fuck out of here, Todd.
So I start driving and we get to his house. Well, the girls call us and they're like, we're in a ditch. We're like, too fucking bad. We're drunk. The cops are looking for
They
us.
took off speeding behind us and end up wrecking.
Yeah, they wrecked on the way to
And
Jimmy's
we're
house. We're like, leave you there. You're done.
My problem.
Ain't my problem no more. The cops
So
are
you want me
looking
to come back with 2 drunk bitches and then go drive down the street with the guys? Yeah, all right.
for us. I don't think so, man.
We went to my parents' house and hung up all night just waiting for the cops to see
Yeah,
if
waiting
they
for a
fucking-
knock on the
just
door. It was
waiting
like,
to
when's
see
this
if
going to
the cops
happen?
would show up.
Did they?
No.
No.
Not that night.
Not that night.
Did you guys ever get in trouble for it?
No.
Mm-mm.
No. Did you guys ever see those guys again?
No.
Those guys started it.
Yeah, they came
I know,
after
but
us.
I was just wondering if you ever saw them
We
again,
left
you
the
know?
bar and said, "Fuck you guys," and they followed us, and he slammed it in park.
I slammed it in the park. I was like, Jimmy, these
And I
motherfuckers.
said, let's fucking do it.
We jumped
I mean,
out.
it was at the end of the night. We're all cranked up, you know. Just
Yeah, of course,
stupid,
feeling froggy.
blacked out. Yeah. But we were in the zone.
We were like 22, 21
we were in the
years
zone.
old.
We were ready
all
to
full of
fight.
testosterone, and I'm a little guy, but they.
Todd is a good boxer, and Todd used to be able to throw his fist, man. I'm telling you, he did. And that guy came. I remember watching that guy came at
He
him.
came straight at me. I'm
And
like,
he just did this whole big right hand heyday thing, and Todd was like, "No, I'm going under that." And he just swung around and fell on the ground, and Todd just, laid into him, and his friend came up, and I laid into him, and that was it.
yeah.
But that's a great moment in life.
It was a great moment in life because we came out victorious.
That's true.
You know, if we would have got beat up, I don't
Oh
think that
yeah,
would have been one of
your
my
truck would have been
stories.
left there. Just look like dumbasses, just all pissed off.
Yeah, just laying there in the middle
Covering
of
their
the
own
street.
shit. But
Right.
cops show up, arrest us for a DWI, and the shit getting kicked out of us. Then they kicked the shit out of us. Yeah, it was one way or the other on that one.
Yeah, like I said, if we wouldn't have went to the Marine Corps, it could have been a bad day for the whole county of Jefferson.
No, but it really did change our lives. So
It did.
moving on to that, it really did. I couldn't imagine
So give
my
us one.
life without them accepting
Give
me
us
now.
give us one of your favorite Marine Corps stories.
Ooh, I like that idea.
I don't even
Not
think
a party one. What was one of your favorite? Like, what were you most proud of the Marine Corps? What that you did? Because I know you've told me about fucking going and doing the fucking when the tsunami came. You went.
Tomodachi probably sticks out the most because we were there 36 hours after it happened.
Right.
So the Navy, Army, Air Force, no one was there. Japanese Defense Guard is very minimal.
Wait.
of what
Stop.
they
I'm
can
going
do.
to stop you right there. Tell the people what we're talking about.
So when the tsunami hit in 2011, it sank the whole eastern corridor of Japan.
Yeah.
And if you've ever been to Japan, and on the eastern side, there's 10,000 small islands, all inhabited by small fishing communities. And I mean, there's just houses on rocks, and that's the only way you get to is a boat, and that's how they live, is fishing. They don't even really have to go into mainland but once a month or someone brings them out. So those are self-sustaining islands, really. And when that thing hit, it was 200 or 300, 400 feet. So it completely submerged those islands in the backwash. So it killed everybody on those islands.
Damn.
So our mission was to go out and see if there's any survivors. And there was, because some of the islands happen to have the right elevation where some people could get there or just happen to live or whatever, or some happen to collect. And that was our mission. And we got out there, and when you saw these islands, you would land there, and it was like no one had been there yet. It was that. It was the seaweed. It was just washed back. There was bodies everywhere hanging out of the building because these people were in their homes, and it blew out their windows, blew out everything, and then washed them back because once the tidal wave came back, it washed them back out. And if you're in a riptide, even when you're standing ankle deep in a riptide, that'd almost take you down.
But see,
so you're talking about a 300-foot riptide.
and the United States Marines come to do this stuff. So
And we would land on these islands, and we would have to report. Do you have any? What do you have to report? Like just completely devastating.
just devastating.
Like total loss.
Yeah.
Total loss. And you couldn't help any of the. You had to keep going, and we had islands that we did have to replenish that were big enough that all the people collected. Like one day we got caught in a snowstorm, and then the next morning we had to fly out to the Ronald Reagan. And the USS Ronald Reagan is the biggest fucking thing that you ever fucking seen in the ocean. It is, I mean, it is an island in the middle of nowhere. And when you see the silhouette of an aircraft carrier, it is something surreal. It is that big. And we landed right on the end of it, so you could just see the whole runway. And we were there to pick up cargo, and I was flying with my CO and my XO, and I had this black girl that was from the Navy that she was supposed to be home 3 days ago, but we got caught in a windstorm and all this stuff, and she was only supposed to be on an 8-hour ride, and she's already 3 days into it.
Dang.
Yeah, and she ended up being my girlfriend for about 3.5 weeks. That's the story. Yeah, she's a cute little black girl.
So let's bring it to your most.
But landing on that, we landed on Ronald Reagan that day. We load up. CO says, "Hey, we're overloaded. We're gonna do a full deck run, and hopefully we have enough."
Explain what a deck run is.
A deck run is that you're gonna pick up your helicopter and you're gonna get that general lift, and you're gonna have enough transitional, meaning going forward, momentum before you hit the end of that deck, before you end that air pallet. And you don't go into the sea.
So basically what he's saying is they got to make sure that there's enough fucking airspace to get off the fucking platform of the carrier.
When you're an aircraft mechanic and you're flying with the CO, you know two things. He's going to make it, and B, if he has to over-torque every fucking thing on that thing and you have to replace every drivetrain on that helicopter, he's going to make sure that thing doesn't go in the water. Because that's not in his best interest.
See, I'm not trying to cut you off, but when I do, I'm trying to make sure the listeners understand what they're talking about. Because a lot of these people aren't military. Yeah. Some of them are, some of them aren't.
Right.
So,
okay.
But yeah, continue, though.
Yeah, so we head out. We make the deck run. We don't drop. You know, and I told that black girl, hey,
we're breaking up.
Well, I tell you, have the bottle, this little bottle that, recon guys, anybody you're flying on a helicopter, you get this have the bottle, this little air bottle that has about 4 or 5 breaths.
Oh, an oxygen tank that has 4 or 5 breaths.
Egress from an aircraft.
In case you crash in the ocean.
And, I have to go back there and that's my job is, hey, CO just said we might not make it off this deck run, so we'll keep this close. If we hit the water, take the seatbelt off. But it really, you can do all the training, but if you hit the water at 150 miles an hour,
you're not making it.
You ain't gonna.
Yeah,
you're not even gonna be.
Plus an aircraft.
Well, no, I've been in those role.
So anyway, we leave, we make it, and we have to hit this island, and apparently the school was on the toppest part of the island, and that's where the residents all saw the flood coming, and they all ran up to the island.
All the survivors.
And they just happened to get to a level enough to where that
all the survivors are up at this school.
Yes, and it is trapped in at the very top of the island, and is all trapped in by electrical lines.
Wow.
And we have to do a deep, steep approach, like almost coming straight in, like all the way down. And we thought we were going to burn up enough gas, but no. But we couldn't burn off any more gas because if we landed and we burn off too much of the gas when we landed, we wouldn't have anywhere else to go because the islands were so far away, we would be trapped. So we had to go in over mass gross weight, and we just come in, and I remember the CO saying, we're dedicated to this landing. And I just remember us going like, the things out the window were going really fast. And we're going really fast.
You're at a dead drop.
And as soon as we got about 50 feet, he pulls it. We torque horns really hard, but we slammed a little bit hard, but that was it. We were fine. I knew we were fine, the aircraft. And then immediately 700 Japanese people come out and start forming a chain right off the bat. We didn't even have to lift a finger. They were just glad that we were there. They were there without food, water for it. Since that thing hit, they had nothing, and they didn't get time to grab it. They had to fucking just run up the hill for their life, and then what was in that school was what they were surviving on, like 200, 300, 400 people. I don't know.
See, ladies and gentlemen, the Marines do more than war. We also do fucking aid.
I would rather do that any day than kill somebody.
Yeah, I mean, giving self-aid to people is fucking amazing. It really is. I mean, war, I've been there, not the greatest fucking thing to do, but the humanitarian effort that you give while being in war makes it all worth it. Because I remember we built schools and built all this other shit, and that makes what you do worth it, really. The humanitarian effort that...
And just seeing the devastation on it, you don't have to have bombs.
I'm getting chills thinking about it.
Destroyed, you know?
Right.
Well, that water destroyed those cities more than bombs could have. I saw an oil tanker. It was 3 miles in. Bombs can't even put an oil tanker 3 miles in one.
So, Jimmy.
Tilting on its side. It's crazy. It's crazy.
When you met me without my arms and legs and you met me with my arms and legs, would you say I changed?
A little bit, but I'm glad that you haven't.
That makes no sense, but I'll take it.
You're still my boy.
You said a little bit, but you're glad I haven't. When you say a little bit, I've changed only by missing my arms and legs as my personality.
I'm just glad you haven't changed into somebody completely else.
Yeah.
Some fucking victim bullshit. You're Todd. And I wouldn't talk to you if you did it any other way.
All right. That's why I love this man.
So when did you guys reconnect? Because I see you guys.
Me and Todd have always since we joined the Marine Corps, we've it's I got a horrible relationship, but he knows that I'm out there and I know that he's out there.
Right. I know that I can reach out to him anytime I need to. And when I first got out of boot camp, I call this motherfucker because he's already been out of boot camp and in Pendleton, and I'm going through SOI, and I'm like, hey, man, what are you doing? He's like, yeah, come stay the night in my barracks. I've never seen a barracks before, so I'm like, what does that mean? Do I gotta sleep on the floor or
Probably.
I was like, we never ended up meeting up, but we always tried to.
Oh, you're talking about in my flight barracks?
Yeah, when I was in fucking SOI and you were in Pendleton.
Yeah, we had a couple empty rooms at the end of the hall. He could just that's what we.
I was like, hey man, I'm in SOI. I got the weekend off. He's like, I'm already all fucked up.
I was the only one in my entire class that could buy alcohol.
Yeah, I was too.
In flight school, you are so under that I had to go out and get drunk by myself in the beer garden. They would just all watch me. I mean, there's no way they were going to risk it because there was
let's just say
every 2 hours.
We never met up during the Marine Corps. Never did.
Really?
But when
I'm glad I joined the Marine Corps when I was 20. Fucking one. That's what I'll say about it. Anybody?
I was 23.
Yeah, but at least the fact that you didn't have to deal with getting all in trouble with the drinking. I would have gotten in trouble with the drinking.
Wait, I was 23. How were you 21?
What I'm saying is, idiot, is that I'm glad we didn't join when we were 18.
Yeah,
we would have got.
I would have been fucking kicked out at 18
and a half.
Okay, you're saying drinking, I'm glad I joined at the drinking age or above.
Yes.
Okay,
yes.
I thought you said 21. I was like,
it's
we were like 23.
Hard to deal with because the Marine Corps is about drinking. You're going to get drunk.
Well, here's something I would like to say.
I don't give a fuck. You're going to be forced to drink.
No. Here's something I'd like to say. When I went to Afghanistan, my battalion commander, and I love this guy for it, his name was, I can't even remember his name now. It's my TBI kicking in. No, dude, listen to what he did. He lifted all the liquor laws for our battalion.
Yeah, they can do that.
He did it. He said, you can have as much liquor as you want in your room. And everybody who's 18, no one gave a fuck. You know why? Because we were about to head into the most dangerous area of Helmand. And he was like, I don't care. Do what you want. Anybody who gets in trouble for liquor will be exempt. It was like, he lifted the liquor law. I came back from a fucking team leaders course, and everybody's drinking out of these fucking fifths. And I'm like, what are you guys doing? You can't be doing that. They're like, no, he just lifted the liquor law. I was like, what? He's like, as long as you don't have kegs in your shower. He said, fill your shower up with cases of beer.
You guys haven't been
but
drinking
no kegs.
for months. It only took you 3 shots for you guys to all be plastered, probably.
And I love the man.
When you're in that good of shape, it really doesn't take you much. I can't remember
his name now, and it's going to drive me crazy, and I hope he's not listening or does listen.
No, I hope he does. We want to thank you, unnamed sergeant.
No, sergeant. This was a colonel of the battalion.
Would the colonel
it was a colonel of the
peanut
battalion.
Butter?
He might support the peanut butter.
Well, you put it on a sandwich.
Like, I can picture his face. He's a bald man. Oh, God, it's driving me crazy now. He actually broke his back in Afghanistan driving from, like, one of the best PCs I ever met.
Dick Dack Bricklicker.
Dick Dack Bricklicker. JGT Tide Buckle.
Yeah, that was his name. Yeah,
his name was John
JJ. Yeah, JJ Tin Buckle or something like that.
JJ Tin Buckle.
Fucking asshole. Let's make him fucking $100.
All right, would you rather? Let's do this.
Okay. Make a dinosaur sound when you come, or laugh uncontrollably every time you see somebody naked for the first time.
I do both of those.
I do too. I can't pick one.
Yeah, I mean,
when I come, awesome. I'm like, oh!
How do you know what a dinosaur sound is?
Well, that's true.
That is true. How do we know a T-Rex actually makes the noise that they say it does?
Close to the birds. Maybe you sound like a
tweet, tweet.
You heard it here first, ladies and gentlemen.
When you come and you go cuckoo, cuckoo, you sound like a dinosaur.
You're gonna have to give me another one.
Okay. Well,
could you imagine if a T-Rex actually came out and just went?
I find it very peculiar that I have both of those traits on a car. They're supposed to be opposite, but I'm doing both of those. I don't.
Yeah. Would you rather see dead people wandering around everywhere you go, or get a 1 minute heads up every time you have to poop?
I already get a 1 minute heads up every time I poop.
Yeah, who doesn't get that?
I don't know.
I have a 17-minute heads up. I have to pee going on right now.
I know, but maybe. Okay, lose a week of your life every time you have sex.
Oh.
Or be hungover for the rest of your life.
Ooh, this is a good one.
This
is a good one.
There's no way I'd be hungover the rest of my life. No fucking
I would have to lose a week of my life every time I have sex?
Every time you have sex.
No, fuck that.
I'd probably already do that anyway.
Fuck that. I'd rather be hungover every day because it can't be, after so long, it can only be normal.
With the amount of I drink and I smoke, there's no way that sex is taken any less off of what I'm just doing every day. So I'm good with that.
No, I'm going with the opposite.
Plus, if you are married, you're probably never having sex.
Good point. I like his point. High five that one.
Yeah, how long you been
Sorry, wife, I love you.
Am I with this girl for 3 months or fucking 13 years?
Right. I mean, am I married or did I just meet this chick? Am I fucking like a rabbit or am I married?
That bitch wouldn't fuck you just because she knew that you were going to die quicker.
Well, it actually doesn't say that you would die.
She's like, I didn't have sex.
Brittany's roast beef curtains.
No, you got to jerk off because you don't need to die because you got babies. Goddamn system.
You guys, I think it's time for another shot.
We just took one, didn't we?
No, that's peanut butter. That's good for you. It's protein.
Protein shot.
I used to
like
steal,
the peanut butter shot?
Yeah, that's one.
Okay.
Oh, the real peanut
shot.
I used to hide them in the post.
How did you hide them? They used to the cornman used to give them to you.
You stick them all the way down the post of
the cornman. Those are Z-Packs.
No, I thought we were talking about boot camp.
No, I'm talking about peanut butter shots.
We call them peanut butter shots.
The ones that you had to rub.
No, the guys who stole a handful of peanut butter shots from the
chow hall.
Yeah.
No, I'm talking about the peanut butter, the penicillin shots.
Well, no. When
you had to rub your butt after those things.
When you were so hungry though, and just one little packet of peanut butter would just.
We had Nutri-Grain bars. That's what we would steal.
Ooh. That sound.
You know what I stole? Nothing, you guys, because I had integrity while I was in boot camp.
Sure, yeah, right.
I served a decent amount of time on naval vessels, and I learned very quickly to bring your food on board. Or some type of save your fucking. I don't want to go to bed hungry tonight. Fucking something.
You know what I learned?
Why would you go to bed hungry?
Because we were in the Marine Corps line, not the Navy line.
Oh, so you had different chow lines?
I don't know. I was never.
Oh, yes. And the Marine Corps chow line is 3,000 fucking guys long, literally.
Hey, Jimmy, shut your yapper or take the shot.
The other one is 300 people, and they live on the vessel.
Cool.
I'm coming up because that peanut butter shot was awesome.
Screwball, sponsor us.
See, everybody wants to say we're part of the Navy, but the Navy doesn't want us on board. They are only just
the Navy can suck my dick.
So when I was
You
heard it here first.
When I was air crew,
I love the Navy because they gave me a ride everywhere.
4
Never
weeks before we were transitioning, like going on a mule.
Mm-hmm.
We'd fly on 4 weeks before. You would go pick up all these fucking infantry fucks and all their little MRAMs.
Listen, I didn't want to be infantry. They made me.
So life on the boat is actually really, really great.
Yeah.
Until the grunts and everybody gets on board and it's fully fucking out. So no, the food's good. Everything's good. There's plenty of room and water and hot water.
I scored fairly high on my hazmat. I could have done anything.
Yeah, he could have done anything, but he had to go do that.
I don't remember. Did you mention what kind of helicopter you were in?
I was in the CH-46 Echo.
Okay, so explain what that is.
The CH-46 Echo is a dual rotor, just like the Chinooks that you see.
Okay.
The only difference you guys will see is the Chinooks have 2 landing gear in front, or 4 altogether. We have a tricycle.
Oh, okay.
So
and
don't the Chinooks have...
We were a medium lift. The Chinooks are really long, heavy lift. They can lift all kinds of shit. They're really, really
So
heavy.
they look like a long john with 2 propellers on them.
And ours were like just a little... It looked like just like.
See, you gotta because you gotta understand, civilians
and
are
we
listening.
transitioned right into the V-22s with that.
So
that was the big part of me getting out or going into the.
I know you're getting.
Listen,
Jimmy. I know you're getting a hard on talking to an Air Force guy about all the fucking air wing shit, but you have to dumb it down for our listeners on what.
I didn't know he was the Air Force guy just now, so now I'm more attracted to him.
I bet you are. I'm attracted to him always.
He just
guess what he did. He packed parachutes.
He just cocked his hand finger and shot it at me.
He went, and did he wink?
Yes.
I don't know.
Well, you didn't catch the wink?
No.
If you didn't catch the wink, he doesn't love you.
Yeah.
It might have just been a fake shot to the heart.
That's
and
fine.
You're
I can be
too
used.
late. Darling,
I can be used.
What do you think about the Ospreys?
Man,
I think
they're death traps.
I think they are completely different aircraft. And
I've heard about people falling out of them. I've watched my gear fall out of them.
I think that they're not well protected when they come in.
They're not well anything.
I think that they brown out a lot. I think that they can transition very fast though, which is very good. On a boat, if you know what a higgy and a hoagie is,
we don't.
One engine is in a higgy and one engine is a hoagie because one's hanging
all
off
I know about a hoagie is
trying to
a
produce
sandwich
thrust with nothing underneath it, and the other engine is producing thrust with a platform.
See, ladies and gentlemen,
they're
hold on. I'm going to pause you for a minute. See, ladies and gentlemen, listen to all this knowledge this man is spitting about aircraft.
I'm also a certified aircraft mechanic.
Would you
and was
let
a
me
supervisor
finish?
for 10 years of that.
Would you let me finish, you albino motherfucker?
Hey, what does looks have to go to this?
Because I'm trying to finish. See, ladies and gentlemen, there's more to the Marine Corps than just shooting and pounding and blowing shit up. This man knows everything about the aircrafts that used to carry us. War is not just an infantry thing. It is entitled and engrossed by everyone that makes it happen. Mm-hmm. From headquarters to gear and supply to fucking
everybody.
Craft mechanics. Not everybody experiences the same thing, but in order for it to happen, everyone must do their job.
Agreed.
You know the ratio, right? It's like 1 to 10. For every single infantryman on the front line.
There's 10 men to support him.
Oh, yeah. Oh, easily.
Yeah.
And because without an infantryman...
The whole thing was assault support. We were there for the grunts. Our job was assault support. They were the assault. Todd was the assault. That was our job. Our whole title was based around the grunts.
Yep.
That's what everything in the Marine Corps is about, though. It's based around the grunts. You got your gear people who bring you your gear and your extra fucking flak and if your backpack rips, they bring you one. It may sound silly, but you have no idea what that means in a wartime crunch. Like, these men and women put their lives on danger, and yes, some of us go to honey holes where our deployment isn't so bad and we get the luxury items. But then again, some of us don't, and we signed up for that, and we have to realize that. We can't be mad at the people that didn't sign up for that. They're still doing their job, because without their job, we can't do ours.
Great. Yeah. Hell yeah.
Speaking the truth, brother.
It is the truth. And, we call you guys pogues.
Guys like, I'm a comm guy, or I'm a this guy.
I'm a pogue, or I'm a...
And everybody roasts everybody.
But you know what? When you see that helicopter coming with the fucking supplies, even if he drops it 20 feet from the ground and it explodes, you're happy he did it.
It goes back further than that. It goes back to that guy got on the bus.
That guy got on the bus, knowing the goddamn...
That guy got on the bus. He got yelled at. He didn't know what he was getting into, and I'm sure he fucking...
But he got on a bus during wartime. Let's think about that.
Yeah. Well,
let's think about that.
Everybody got on the bus, man.
During wartime, my era, everybody got on a bus stood on those yellow
Well,
footprints.
think about it, Todd. You call yourself a badass infantryman, but
I'm not a
everybody had
badass
to go.
infantryman.
Everybody had to go through the boot. Everybody went through the same exact.
But I'm
thing
not a
before
badass
that.
infantryman.
So you had to go through that first to even get to that stage, and that's where you.
And then everything
that
divides.
is where you should appreciate people's.
I do
worth,
appreciate
you know?
that. I
Is
appreciate that.
They went.
I
that-
just said that, Jimmy.
Oh, okay.
You fucking albino. You look like Powder with a beard.
Yeah. Okay.
Does anyone know who Powder is?
I'm never coming here again.
Yes, you
unless I
will.
have some peanut butter.
What about Screwball? Does that work?
I love this man to death. He's one of my best friends. He's one of my brothers in arms.
I'm about to go take a pee, no matter what.
Yeah, no, we're about to be finished here. So this is one of our longer episodes.
I think this is the longest episode.
I think so
date.
too. Up to date. This is.
Well,
the
then I'll
longest
be
one.
back for another.
Hey, no, we're gonna cut it here. So we're gonna say goodbye to everyone.
Thank you for having me on, everybody. I appreciate
No,
it.
we'll have Jimmy back. I guarantee it.
Oh hell yeah, we have to.
Because he knows a lot more Todd Nicely stories than he's letting on.
I think we should just get on some different topics and write them out, and I think we should have some fun. I think
Well,
we can
Jimmy
have some
could be a
fun.
regular.
He
Yeah.
could be a regular. Yeah.
I'm a talker.
He's a very big talker like I am.
Do you live in the area?
Yeah, he lives right down the fucking. He lives
Hey,
right.
I don't know where he
No, hold on.
lives.
He lives right across from where your sister used to live.
Oh,
He's like
okay.
right up the
Oh
road
yeah,
from it.
where's your sister live?
You remember? You used to come there all the time.
You know, I mean Todd's
My
wife.
wife.
Oh,
Wow, man.
I didn't know that was your sister.
Yeah.
Sorry. I
Yeah.
was trying to make a joke,
I'll show
but
you. Yeah, I'll show you.
That one backfired. All right, ladies
no,
and
it
gentlemen.
didn't.
Sorry, we got cut off there at some point. So we're going to return this with how to get back and reach at us and leave some comments, please.
We have a YouTube, an Instagram, and a Twitter. All of it is when does the fuckery end? Fuckery is FKRY. We would love to hear from you. Post us about us. You know, even like and subscribe. You know, do whatever.
People, if you do not let us know you're listening, we will never go live. And if you want to see this shit live, you better start posting because
Yeah.
it's even funnier live.
It's way funnier live. Okay, we're out.
Peace.